Hello friends, after my first video, that is the application of thyristor family for AC voltage control. Today I will going to explain again the application of that thyristor family for the DC motors. Here first of all we will going to see the use of that thyristors to control the single phase separately excited DC motor. So before going to this uh, detail control circuitry, we should be familiar with what is that separately excited DC motor. Then we can design or develop its controlling circuit. So so many peoples might have familiar with one of the DC motor, which is mostly available in toys, right? You might have seen it internal structure also. So whenever uh, we open it, you will observe there is a permanent magnet inside the yoke of that motor. Two permanently from opposite side, two permanently magnets are stick inside that yoke. So that kind of DC motor is known as a permanent magnet type of DC motor. Okay. So whatever DC motor controlling we will going on to study over here, that is separately excited DC motor. So first of all we will see what is the difference between separately excited DC motor and that permanent type of magnet DC motor. Okay. So the main difference you will observe, there is no permanent magnet inside this separately excited DC motor. That magnet we have to create separately from the application or by the application of somewhat external DC voltage source to it, and that's why it is known as separately excited, nothing else. Okay. So to generate that magnet inside this motor, there are two types of windings. Okay. So basically that windings are known as a armature winding and rotor winding. Armature winding means that winding is stationary, which is wounded inside that yoke with few number of poles and all that we will see in detail later on. So the field winding, it is used to excite the field flux. So see here two types of windings are shown in this equivalent. This one is the armature winding or the winding which is wounded on the rotor, and this one is the field winding. Okay. So this field winding, it is stationary, while this rotor winding, it is moving in nature with the rotor. Okay. So armature current, it is supplied to the rotor via brush and commutator for the mechanical work, and interaction of that field flux and armature current in the rotor, it produces the torque. So you will observe, I tried to show the internal structure of that separately excited DC motor. There is a yoke, that means the body of that motor. Then these are the field poles which are stationary, on which there is a winding to generate the field flux. Then this one is a shaft. This is known as a rotor, and on that rotor again there is separate winding, separate winding. Okay, that is known as a armature winding. Okay. Now in this equivalent, you will observe uh, this is nothing but the parameters of that armature winding, which is wounded on the rotor, and this one is the field winding. Again, these are the parameters of that field winding, which is stationary in nature. So LA for armature winding, it is nothing but the inductance of that coil, armature coil, and RA, it is the own resistance of that armature coil. Externally, we are applying some more DC source to it, that is nothing but VA, that is armature voltage. By this VA, there will be a flow of armature current, that is nothing but IA, and that flux will get generated, that is denoted by EG, and that flux, it will get converted into mechanical work, and this is nothing but the external shaft for the mechanical work. Okay. And this one is nothing but the field winding, having its parameters like LF and RF. LF is nothing but again the inductance of that field winding, and RF, it is its own resistance which is excited externally by somewhat voltage source, and that is denoted by VF. By that VF, there will be a flow of field current, that is nothing but IF. Okay. So the IF, here it is written, the field current, it is independent of IA, as it is separately excited. There is no any physical contact between that armature coil and the field coil, and both coils are separately excited by the separate DC sources. That's why we can say there is no direct relation between this field current and armature current. Okay, each windings are supplied separately. Any change in the armature current has no effect on the field current, right? Because there is completely isolation between these two. So when a separately excited motor is excited by a field current of IF and an armature current of IA flows in the circuit, the motor develops a back EMF and a torque to balance the load torque at a particular speed. Now, there are a few equations which are also important over here. We already studied in detail in electrical the various types of motors and their analysis and everything. But here I will going on to just give overview of it, because we have to control some parameters of that motor to change its speed, or we can say to change its torque also, right? So first one is field and armature equations. If we apply KVL over here, then we can easily write this equation, that is nothing but Vf equals to Rf into If, that is the drop across the field coil resistance, this one, that is nothing but If into Rf, plus Lf into DIF by dt, that is nothing but drop across the inductor, that means across this Lf. Okay, similarly here if we apply KVL to the armature side, that means over here again we can write that Va equals to, that is applied voltage equals to total torque within that loop. So it will be equals to Ra into Ia, that is nothing but Ra is nothing but what? It is the armature resistance, and Ia it is the flow current due to that Va, plus the drop across the inductance of that coil, and plus that Eg. Okay, that Eg is nothing but back EMF produced by that motor. Okay, so here it is written Ra and La are the armature resistor and inductor respectively. Now the second term is the motor back EMF, which is also known as a speed voltage, that is nothing but this Eg. So again the formula for that Eg, it is nothing but kV into omega into If. Okay, where that omega is nothing but what? Motor speed in radians per second, this one, which is important for us now. This kV, it is the motor voltage, which is a constant, and If, that is the field current. So that Eg, that is back EMF, that will be dependent on this kV, omega and If, where kV is a constant, omega it is a motor speed, and If it is nothing but field current. So here we can simply write omega, it is inversely proportional to If. Remember this one, that is the motor speed, it will be inversely proportional to If, means whenever we will go on to increase this field current, the speed of that motor will get reduced, and vice versa. Okay, and now the next parameter, that is torque developed by the motor, is again we derived that Td equals to Kt If into Td. Okay, where Kt equals to Kv is nothing but torque constant in radians per second again, and from this equation again we can easily say over here that Td or If and Ia, na? So that Td, it is directly proportional to If and Ia, right? That is the torque developed, it is directly proportional to field current as well as armature current. So to have a large torque, there is a need of more field current as well as more armature current. Now in this side, purposely I replace this much controlling part by simply a block from both sides, and it is written it is a single phase AC to DC converter. Why I replace it? Because whatever we discussed in previous, it was a fully converter or full converter using 4 SCRs. Instead of that, whatever various AC to DC converters we discussed in previous lectures, we derived its output voltage. Like these blocks, it may be a single phase half wave converter, it may be a semi converter, it may be a full converter, or it may be a dual converter, right? So depending on which type of converter we preferred over here, we can write the armature voltage, for example, this VA, if it is half wave converter, then it will be Vm by 2 pi in bracket 1 plus cos alpha. Similarly, if that converter is single phase semi converter, again we already derived this equation for its output voltage, that is Vm by pi in bracket 1 plus cos alpha A, and it will be the armature voltage, is it? And same things are applicable for this field voltage also. Similarly, if I replace this block by a full converter, already we discussed in previous slide, it will be equals to twice Vm by pi cos of alpha, that is for full converter. And if that converter is a dual converter type, then again we have the same output voltage, that is twice Vm by pi into cos alpha, where for all these four different types of AC to DC converters using thyristors, here it is written alpha it is greater than or equals to 0 and less than or equals to pi, because that each thyristor or pair, depending on the type of that converter, will going on to conduct between 0 to pi only, right? Now just we will discuss one numerical. A separately excited DC motor has a constant torque load of 60 Newton meter. The motor is driven by a full wave converter. It is mentioned it is driven by full wave converter, which is connected to 240 volt AC supply. The field constant of the motor is, that is K times of IF equals to 2.5, and the armature resistance, that is RA, it is given as a 2 ohm. Now here we have to calculate the triggering angle of that thyristor to control the motor speed at 200 rpm. Okay, and consider the current is continuous in nature, is that converter is operating in continuous current mode. Okay, so for continuous current mode, and as the converter is mentioned as a full wave converter, we already discussed its output voltage, that is VO equals to twice Vm by pi cos of alpha. Now as that converter is connected to armature side, and that's why that VO it is replaced by VA equals to twice Vm by pi cos of alpha A, that is the firing angle of thyristors which are connected to armature winding. And again that VA equals to back EMF plus drop across that armature resistance, that is IA into RA, where that is the back EMF, which is equals to 2.5 times of IF, because its formula is K times IF into omega, where omega is the angular speed of that motor. Okay, so that torque developed by the motor, it is again K times IF into IA. Therefore twice Vm by pi into cos of alpha A equals to, that is VA equals to, we can easily write that T by K into IF into RA plus K into IF into omega, and hence by solving this equation at the end you will observe that firing angle, it is of 62.32 degree. So when we will go on to set this firing angle by various firing methods which we already discussed in AC voltage control, like that gate triggering or that gate triggering, it may be, again there are different types like UJT triggering, okay, or by using DIAC and all that. Okay, so when we will set that firing angle as 62.32 degree, and this motor will be operated by this full wave converter, then we can say the speed of that motor will be 200 rpm. So just by changing this alpha, what we can say, we can change the speed of motor. This is nothing but the motor driver circuitry for this separately excited DC motor. Thank you.